Hi guys, welcome to my yoga class. This is just a test demo. It's probably only going to be 30 minutes and we'll see what happens. Hope you brought your mat. All you need is a towel and some water and we'll get started. Let's go ahead and start on actually in child's pose. So you're going to sit onto your heels, resting your forehead on your mat, and we'll just set an intention. And I'm going to be doing this with you. So I'm going to take my comfy slippers off. I'm doing this outside in my backyard just because it's such a nice day. So sit back onto your heels, resting your forehead on your mat. Go ahead and set an intention for your practice, which could be anything from increasing strength and flexibility to maybe inviting some calmness into a really hectic day. Whatever your thought, whatever your intention, just take a moment, think about what you'd like to happen for your body and for your mind, but most especially for your spirit over the next 30 minutes. And then once you have your intention set, take a nice big deep inhale. And then on your next exhale, go ahead and exhale that intention out and into the universe. When you're ready to begin, go ahead and make your way up onto all fours, making sure your wrists are underneath your shoulders, your knees are underneath your hips, and we'll do some gentle cat-cow arches. So you can lift your spine up to the ceiling, and then reverse the curve in your spine, directing your belly button down and towards your mat. Do this a few more times just on your own, really trying to exaggerate this movement as much as you can, really breathing up and into every aspect of your spine, from your tailbone all the way up to the base of your skull. The reason why I always like to start my practice with these cat-cow arches is because it brings awareness to your breath. Your breath is the most important part of your practice. If you're not able to breathe while you're practicing, you're missing out on what the pose has to offer. Deep inhales, followed by deeper exhales. On your last one, come back up onto all fours, pick your feet up, and you're going to shift your heels to the left and to the right. I love doing this just because it makes my low back feel really good, my hips. All right, come back onto all fours. We'll threadle your needles, so go ahead and place your left hand to the midline of your mat. Inhale, lift your right arm all the way up to the ceiling, to the sky. And then wrap that right hand behind your back. Keep looking upward. Maybe there's a nice cloud. Looking at some climbing holes. Inhale, lift that right arm up, and then as you exhale, threadle your needles, sliding your right hand underneath your left, resting your shoulder and your head on your mat, resting. And then walk your left hand toward the front of your mat. Bring your hips back to the center of your mat. Just a nice stretch for your shoulders. You may even feel this in your hips. Walk that left hand back in, pick yourself back up. We'll try that to the other side. Right hand goes to the center line of your mat. Inhale, lift that left arm up. Find that same spot that you were just looking at, and then wrap that left hand behind you. Inhale, lift your left arm back up, and then threadle your needles, sliding your left hand underneath your right, resting your head as well as your shoulder on your mat as you extend your right arm forward, or you can even wrap that right hand behind your back, adjusting your hips if you want to feel the stretch in your hips. Go ahead and place your right hand down. Pick yourself back up. On your next exhale, you'll exhale into down dog. So curl your toes under, straighten up your legs, pressing your heels down to the floor onto your mat. Walk out, alternating lifting and lowering your heels. Take your down dog out for a nice long walk, massaging out the arches of your feet. Spread your fingers nice and wide on your mat. Let your head go heavy in between both arms. For your three-legged down dog, bring your feet together. Inhale, lift your right leg all the way up to the sky. Stack your right hip on top of your left. Shake it out. Do some hip circles. You can just hold it up in the air.
Lowering that right foot down to the floor. Let's go to the other side. So feet are together. On your next inhale, lift that left leg up. Stack it on top of your right. Shake it out. Do some hip circles. Hold it up in the air. You can look underneath your right armpit. See if you can see that left foot waving at you. Lowering that left foot down to the floor. Spread your feet mat width apart. Walk your hands back just a little closer towards your feet. We got into the front of your shoulders. Now let's get into the back. So you're in a shoulder stance, down dog. You're gonna reach across with your right hand, grab the outside of your left ankle or foot. If you can't reach your foot, grab onto your knee. And you're pulling. You won't feel the stretch until you start pulling. And then if you want something deeper, bend your right knee, shifting your hips toward the right side of your mat. Straighten up both legs, switch sides, reaching across with your left hand, grabbing the outside of your right ankle, and then looking underneath your right armpit, and then bend that left knee, shifting your hips over to the left side of the room. I'm not using any music today because I'm outside. Finding the chirping of the birds is really relaxing. All right, straighten out both legs. Keep walking your hands back towards your feet, grabbing onto your opposite elbows, and just hang. Swing your torso to the left and to the right. Let your head go heavy in between both arms, letting go of any tension in your spine and your shoulders and your neck. Lower your hands down to the floor, bending deeply into both knees. Malasana, hands to heart center. Spread your knees away from each other. So this is what it's going to look like if I was facing you. You're pressing your knees away from each other, really lengthening into your spine. You can rock to the left and to the right. If you want to stretch, you can lower your left hand down to the floor as you lift your right hand up to the ceiling. You're moving on to the bind. You're going to clasp your hands behind your back, and I'll let you see what this looks like from behind. You can clasp, and if you can't reach your fingers, you can also use a towel. My towel's too far away. Let's bring your hands back to heart center. We'll try that to the other side. So from Malasana, right hand down, left hand up. Stay here. You'll feel a nice stretch for your shoulders, or go for the bind, clasping your hands behind your back. And then if you look up, you'll be able to include your neck in this beautiful stretch. Hands back to heart center. Lower your hands down to the floor, onto your mat. Straighten up both legs, forward fold. Grab onto your big toes and pull. Using the strength in your arms to create more length in your low back. Bending your elbows. Each exhale brings the top of your head closer to your mat. Releasing your toes, keeping a soft, gentle bend in your knees. Roll up into your standing mountain pose. Inhale as you lift both arms up. Grab your right wrist as you exhale, lean over to the left, just opening up into the right side of your rib cage. And just as long as you don't look down to the floor, if you do, you'll start to hunch and roll forward, and you'll be missing out on this beautiful stretch to your ribs. Go ahead and come back up, try the other side. Grabbing your left wrist, leaning over to the right, really opening up into your torso, the left side of your rib cage. Slowly come back up, take your back bend, deep inhale. Pressing your hips forward, looking up. Exhale, swan dive forward, hinge at your hips, lead with your heart. I'd like you to inhale as you do a half lift, create some length and space in your low back, and then as you exhale, take a deeper forward fold. From your standing forward fold, walk your hands forward into plank. Your plank is the top of a push-up. Now, if you can maintain your plank, stay here. Glide your body forward and back. If at any point in time your plank starts to hurt your low back, you can lower down onto your knees. You can still shift forward. You can do some circles, anything that's going to massage out your wrists and your ankles. Your palms and the palms of your hands and the soles of your feet create the very foundation for all of your yoga poses. So you just want to make sure that your wrists and your ankles are nice and warmed up. From your plank chaturanga, lower yourself onto the floor, flatten out your feet. Inhale, come up into cobra pose, pressing your palms into your mat. Roll your shoulders back, down and away from your ears.
Look to the left, look to the right. Just get a nice stretch for the muscles in the sides of your neck. Lower yourself all the way down to the floor. Curl your toes under. Exhale, lift back up into plank. Follow through. Down dog. Walk it out, alternating lifting and lowering your heels. So we'll do today a couple of sun salutations and then open up into the front of your body. Because of the time we have, just want to get all of your muscles just moving, your blood flowing. Go ahead and come up high on the balls of your feet. Lunge your right foot forward, placing it in between both of your hands. Lower down onto your left knee. Inhale, lift both arms up. So in this pose, you want to press your hips forward. You want to actually pretend that there's someone behind you, pressing your hips forward. Arms are energized, palms are facing each other. For a nice stretch for the front of your shoulders, clasp your hands behind your back, slide your knuckles down the back of your sacrum, roll your shoulders open, tilt your chin up to the ceiling. Big, deep inhale. Exhale, look forward, straightening up your arms to the sky. Lower your hands down to your mat, keeping your left hand on the floor on your mat. Inhale, lift your right arm all the way up to the ceiling. Go ahead and wrap that right hand behind your back. Get a nice stretch for those shoulders, really working on opening up into your posture. Exhale, extend that right arm over your head so your biceps really close to your cheek and your ear. Lower that right hand down to the floor. Don't move your feet, shift your hips back so you're straightening out that right leg, really getting into your hamstrings. I know a lot of you have tightness in your hamstrings because of knee injuries. You're trying to connect your forehead onto your right shin, pointing your toes up to the ceiling. Get into your calf muscles as well. Lunge all the way forward. Lift up and off of your left knee. Step your left foot up to meet your right. Straighten up both legs. Forward fold. Grabbing onto the backs of your calves and pull your belly onto your thighs. Resting your chest onto your knees. Bowing your forehead onto your shins. Really try to create some more length in your torso. No light, no space or air can pass through your belly and your thighs. Release your calves, keeping a soft, gentle bend in your knees. Roll up into mountain pose. Inhale as you lift both arms up, straightening up your legs. Take your back bend, pressing your hips forward. Inhale, look up. Exhale, swan dive forward into your hips. Lead with your hearts. Inhale, half lift to lengthen. Exhale, deeper forward fold. Lunge your right foot back. Lower down onto your right knee. Inhale, lift both arms up. We'll do a different movement with your arms. You're going to bend your elbows to about 90 degrees. Inhale, lean back. Exhale, straighten your arms, look forward. Lower your hands onto the floor, onto your mat, keeping your right hand on the floor. Inhale, lift your left arm up. Try not to collapse into that right shoulder. Keep it energized. Wrap that left hand behind your back. Keep pushing your hips forward. Just because we're doing a bunch of arm movements doesn't mean that the rest of your body can take a break. You want to keep all those muscles energized. Extending your left arm over your head on your exhale. Lower your left hand down to the floor. Again, shift your hips back, straightening out your left leg. So your feet aren't moving, it's just your hips. You're just shifting your hips toward the back of your mat, pointing your toes up to the ceiling, connecting your forehead onto your shin. Lunge all the way forward. Lift your right knee up, slide your left leg back into plank. We're going to go through what's called your vinyasa. So you're going to do a strong chaturanga, slowly bending your elbows. Inhale, up dog. So you're scooping your upper body forward. And then on your exhale, curl your toes under, lift your hips up, press your heels onto your mat, down dog. Walk it out. Couple of deep inhales and exhales in your down dog. We'll do the same with our crescent warrior, starting on the right side. Coming up high in the balls of your feet, lunge your right foot forward. This time, stay on the ball of your left foot. Deep bend in that right knee. Inhale as you lift both arms up. So for this pose, not only is your right knee bent to about 90 degrees, but your left leg is nice and straight. All right, hands to heart center. As you exhale, lean forward and rotate your chest to the right side, using your elbows, pushing them up and against the outside of that right knee. So make sure you press your palms together. I really want you to activate your arm muscles. Otherwise, you're gonna dump into that and you're gonna use your knee to rest your upper body, which doesn't feel good. I always feel like I'm cheating. All right, lower your hands down to the floor. I know what your plank looks like, so you're gonna stack your plank. As you slide your right leg back, you're gonna stack it on top of your left, lifting that right hand up to the ceiling. So a couple of modifications, variations, you can lower down onto that left knee if you need extra support. If that feels too easy, you can always lift your right leg up as well. If this feels good and you're shaking and you're feeling challenged, stay here. If you want more, tree pose variation or star variation with your right leg. You can fall as many times as you need to. All right, come back into your plank. Go through your vinyasa, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. We'll do all of that to the other side. I'm going to switch directions so it'll make it easier for you to follow through or follow along. From your down dog, lunge your left foot forward. Stay on the ball of that right foot. Inhale, lift both arms up. So if you notice I'm a little shakier on this side, it's pretty normal for everyone to be a little shakier on one side than the other, just because either you're right-handed or left-handed, one side's always a little stronger. Hands to heart center. As you exhale, lean forward, rotate your chest to the left side, press your palms together, pushing your right elbow into the outside of your left knee. Such a beautiful day. I didn't mention this on the other side, but if you want to straighten out your arms, this is a nice variation, lowering your right hand to the floor, lifting your left hand up, and then if you're moving on to the bind, wrapping those hands behind your back and around that right leg. Just variations, different options. All right, hands back to heart center. Lower both hands down to the floor to stack your plank as you slide that left leg back. Stack it on top of your right, lifting that left hand up, lifting your hips up. Whatever variation you choose to do, whether it's a tree or a star or lowering down onto that right knee, you choose whatever feels the best. All right, from plank, from your stack plank, come into your plank, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, or if you're not feeling your up dog today, maybe you're tired, you can rest your hips onto the floor for cobra pose. On your next exhale, curl your toes under, lifting your hips up, pressing your heels onto your mat, downward facing dog. Walk it out, alternating lifting and lowering your heels. So I like to get my body moving, nice and warmed up. So let's connect a few poses that we've kind of already done and a nice little flow sequence. So when you're ready, from down dog, lower down onto both knees. Lift your spine up into your cat. Breathe through into your cow pose. Come back into your table, pick your feet up, shift your heels left and right. Back into table, lengthen plank, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. We'll do this 3 more times just to get your body used to the different poses and the different transitions. All right, from down dog, lower down onto both knees. Lift your spine up into your cat. Breathe through into your cow pose. Come back into table, pick your feet up, shift your heels left and right. Back into your table, lengthen plank, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Good job. Walk it out 2 more times. Halfway there. Getting that heart rate up there. From down dog, lower down onto both knees. Lift your spine up into your cat. Exhale, breathe through into your cow pose. Back into table, pick your feet up, shift your heels left and right.
Back into table, plank, plank, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Last time you can do this, perfecting this sequence from down dog. Lower down onto your knees. Lift your spine up into cat. Breathe through into your cow pose. Come back into your table. Lengthen plank. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Well done. This next sequence is much, much shorter. It's going to open up into the front of your body. It's going to include some camel poses. So I'll do it with you. I'll talk you through it as well. From down dog, lower down onto both knees. Inhale as you lift both arms up. You're going to come into a kneeling position. So your knees, your hips, your shoulders, your elbows, and your wrists are in a straight line. If you've never done modified camel before, I want you to curl your toes under. If you feel good, you feel like you can reach back, touching your left heel, go ahead and do that. Lengthen into your right hand. Exhale, take your back bend. Pushing your hips forward, opening up into the front of your body. Inhale, lift both arms up. Lower down onto all fours. Lengthen into your plank. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. We'll only do this one 2 more times, working up into the full expression of camel pose. Lower down onto both knees. Inhale, lift both arms up. This time, left hand stays lengthened. Take your right hand back, pushing your hips forward. Inhale, lean back. Exhale, lift both arms up. Lowering down onto all fours. Lengthen plank. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Last time, when you are ready for the full expression of camel pose, lower down onto both knees. Inhale, lift both arms up. We'll start with the left side first, taking your left hand back, find your left heel. If and only if that feels good, taking your right hand back. If that doesn't feel good, you can do one arm at a time, or you can simply push your hips forward. Either one will give you that nice stretch for your spine. All right, inhale, lift both arms up. Lower both hands down to the floor into table. Lengthen into plank, go through your vinyasa, strong chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Good job, walk it out. Alternating lifting and lowering your heels. Let's do a couple more warriors. Starting on the right side. Coming up high in the balls of your feet, lunge your right foot forward. Angle your left foot out to the side, your right knee is bent. Inhale as you lift both arms up. Press your left hip forward, pull your right hip back. Your palms are facing each other. Your arms are nice and straight. Biceps are engaged. Nice smile on your face. Clasp your hands behind your back. Slide your knuckles down the back of your sacrum, tilt your chin up. Inhale. Exhale, slide your entire upper body to the inside of that right bent knee. Humbling your warrior. You want the top of your head to get really close to your mat. Deep bend in that right knee. Exhale, come back up into warrior one. Open up into your warrior two. Arms are parallel to the floor. Your gaze is right at the back of your right hand forward. Reverse your warrior, lifting that right hand up to the ceiling, maybe taking a deeper knee bend. Come back into your warrior two, side angle pose. And then for the bind, wrapping your hands behind your back. We're not going to do bird of paradise today. I know, some of you are bummed out about that. Lower your hands down to the floor, straightening out your left foot, quick switch of your feet. So you're going to jump your left foot forward, pop your right foot back, angle your right foot out to the side, inhale, lift both arms up.
All right, when you're ready, humbling your warrior, clasping your hands behind your back, tilting your chin up, inhale, exhale, sliding that entire upper body to the inside of your left knee. Exhale, come back up into warrior one, open up into warrior two, nice deep knee bend. Reversing your warrior, left palm up. Right hand, use the back of that right leg to slide your right hand down for extra balance. Come back into your warrior two, side angle pose. Left hand down, right hand up, and if you're going for the bind, clasping your hands behind your back. Unwrap your arms, placing both hands on either side of your left foot, straightening out your right foot, come into pigeon pose. Walking your left foot across your mat towards your right wrist. I know it was a very short practice today. Trying to get into your glutes. You can stay in an upright position. You can walk your hands forward, resting your forehead on your mat. Today, I think I'm going to stay on the palms of my hands. My right psoas is bothering me just a little bit. If you're coming into mermaid pose, go ahead and bend that right knee, reach behind you, grabbing your right foot with your right hand, so same arm, same leg. And then only if your foot can fit in your elbow crease should you move on to the full expression where you're clasping your hands behind your head. All right, lower both. Relax that right foot down to the floor. We'll come into a seated spinal twist. You're going to slide that right leg all the way from the back to the front, placing the bottom of your right foot on the other side of your left knee. Seated spinal twist. Make sure both hips are on the floor. Right hand goes behind your back. Inhale, lift that left arm up, and then exhale, twist. Pushing into the outside of your right knee with your left hand, your left elbow. You can have your arms straight. Make sure to breathe. Picking a spot behind you. Go ahead and gently untwist. Lengthen your legs out in front of you. Shake them out. Inhale as you lift both arms up, and then exhale, forward fold. So you're hinging at your hips, leading with your hearts. So your belly and your chest and your forehead is resting on your legs. It's a nice deep forward fold. It's the same forward fold you did when you were standing, and maybe you were a little afraid to go all the way forward because you thought you maybe lose your balance, or maybe you're feeling a little dizzy or lightheaded. But you're already on your mat, and you're already on the floor, so you're not going to fall over. So let gravity help you. All right. Go ahead and keep holding on to your right foot with your right hand. You're going to roll back onto your back and onto your mats. Just going to make sure I have enough space. And then as you exhale, allow that right leg to drop out to the right side of your mat as you look over your left shoulder out at your left palm. Just giving yourself a nice deep hip opening stretch. Lift that right leg back up, bending into your right knee. This time you're going to take it across your body. So with your left hand, grab the outside of your right knee, shuffling your hips back to the center of your mat, and you're going to look over your right shoulder out at your right palm. Go ahead and gently untwist, hug both knees into your chest. Give yourself a great big hug. Rock to the left and to the right. Maybe coming into happy baby pose where you're grabbing onto the outer edges of your feet or your big toes, creating lots of space between your feet and your knees, lengthening into your spine. Beautiful Sunday afternoon. All right, bring your knees and your feet together, cross your ankles, roll up into a cross-legged pose. Before we go to pigeon to the other side, I'm gonna stretch out my neck just because it was bothering me today. I don't think I slept very well last night, so roll your neck to the left and to the right, getting rid of any tension out of the back and the sides of your neck. If your neck isn't bothering you today, maybe your shoulders are bothering you. So go ahead and you can roll your shoulders back down and away from your ears. You can also squeeze your shoulder blades behind you. Do whatever feels really good. All right, when you're done, lift your head back up. We'll come into table pose. So I like to, from my cross-legged pose, just to roll forward, uncross my ankles. Some of you do have some knee issues, so if it feels better for you to just swing your knees out to the sides, your feet out to the sides, do that. All right, exhale, down dog. So we've got to do pigeon to the right side. So when you're ready, from down dog, lunge your right foot forward, lower down onto that left knee, walking that right foot across your mat towards your left wrist. You can stay on the palms of your hands. This feels really good on my psoas, my hip flexors. You've got two of them, one on each side. For some reason, my left psoas is just always a little tighter. So you can stay here. You can walk your hands forward, resting your forehead on your mat. You can come into that mermaid variation. Go ahead and bending into that left knee with your left hand, and then only if you can get your left foot to rest comfortably in that left elbow, then you can take that right hand behind your back, coming into mermaid. All right, lower your hands down to the floor, sliding that left leg from the back to the front, placing the bottom of your left foot on the other side of your right knee. For your seated spinal twist, left hand goes behind your back. Inhale, lift that right arm up, and then exhale, twist. I'm actively pushing my right elbow into the outside of my left knee, trying to twist as much as I can, picking a spot on the back wall. This is my climbing wall. Because all the gyms are closed, I'm really thankful that I have this in my backyard. Really being grateful for what we have. All right, gently untwist, lengthen your legs out in front of you, shake them out. Inhale, lift both arms up, and then as you exhale, forward fold. This time you're gonna grab, we'll try to lengthen as much as you can. Try to go a little further than you did the last time. Always reminding yourself to breathe a little deeper each and every time. Now hold on to your left knee with your left hand as you roll back onto your back and onto your mat. I'm just gonna shuffle forward just a little bit more. Just make sure I stay on the mat. And then gently guide that left leg out toward the left side of the room as you look over your right shoulder out at your right palm. Good times in the neighborhood. All right, lift that left knee back up with your right hand. You're gonna bend into your right knee, bringing your left knee across your body, shuffling your hips back to the center of your mat, and then looking over your left shoulder out at your left palm.
And go ahead and gently untwist. Plug both knees into your chest. Give yourself a great big well-deserved hug. Lengthen your arms out, like airplaning your arms out to the sides. Feet, knees, and hips are 90 degrees of each other. Just going to create a little bit of movement before we get into Shavasana. You're going to bring both knees out to the right. Just when your right knee is ready to touch the floor, bring them back in and then lengthen your legs out in front of you. Just when your heels are ready to touch the floor, twist to the left. Going to do this just a few more times, just to bring awareness to your core. We didn't do a lot for strengthening our core. The goal was just to get our blood flow moving, opening up into the front of your body. But since you can strengthen your core each and every day, I like to do a little bit of abs, just so that I know my posture will always be nice and lengthened. All right, we'll do one more to each side. And then when you're ready, hug your knees into your chest. And then slowly lower your feet down to the floor. Supta Baddha Konasana, the bottoms of your feet are together. Knees are butterflied out to either side. Right hand is on your belly, left hand is at your heart. Go back to the moment when you set your intention, just to see if you accomplished it. But when that's all done, come into your Shavasana, where you're straightening out your legs out in front of you, repositioning your arms. Your arms are beside your torso, palms are facing the ceiling. Relaxing your body, releasing any tension in your hips and your shoulders. Unclench your jaw. Soften your facial expression. Unfurrow your eyebrows. So you can stay in Shavasana. For the reason of the video, I'm gonna start to gently wiggle my fingers and toes, hug my knees into my chest, cross my ankles, roll up into a cross-legged pose. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day. Hope I was able to help you find out a little bit more about your body. Hope you learned something a little bit more. Hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Namaste.